Hey, what's up guys? It's Bruni and welcome back to another video. I had an interesting conversation over the weekend with somebody close to me, and I wanted to hop on here and have a casual conversation and just explain why I'll be making 100 videos over the next 10 weeks. As you guys know, I started this business and YouTube channel back in December and things are going relatively well, but after the conversation I had this week, I realized I'm still being way too cautious and not taking the risks I need to really get this business off the ground. So I wanted to share a quick analogy that I think illustrates the problem really well and how I'm going to solve it over the next 10 weeks. All right, when you're first getting a business off the ground, it's a lot like trying to push start a car that has a dead battery or some other issue that's preventing it from getting going. Now, I won't pretend to know anything about cars because I certainly don't, but in general, from what I've read, it seems pretty simple. There are a few key steps. First is you get the car and its wheels pointed in the general direction that you want it to head. Then from there, you shift it into one gear or another. Then after that, you get to the back of the car and you push it as hard as you can. And after you get some momentum going, the engine kicks in and bada bing, bada boom, you're moving and grooving. But getting that initial momentum and inertia is the hardest part. It takes both intensity and consistency. Think about it. If you stand behind the car and you push it really hard with all your might for 1 second, it's not gonna move. And if you're at the opposite extreme where you're pushing it kind of nonchalantly, maybe you're just leaning on the car, it doesn't matter if you do that for an entire 24 hours straight, the car's not gonna move either. But guess what? If you meet in the middle and push moderately hard for 5 minutes, chances are the car is gonna start going. And as you push and it gains some momentum and starts moving, it's going to get easier and easier to push, and sooner or later the car is going to be moving on its own. And it's at that point where the car's moving, you can hop back in the front seat and start to steer it in the direction that you ultimately want to go. Now, to bring that analogy back home, my business, this YouTube channel, is essentially a car with a dead battery that I'm trying to push start. Now, any prep work I've done over the last month and a half or anything before that has essentially allowed me to position the car in the right direction. The wheels are pointed exactly where I want to go, but so far for the last month and a half, I've not had the intensity matched with the correct consistency in order to be able to get that car moving. So how am I going to fix that? Well, the easiest way to do that is by setting up a challenge for myself, and that's why I'm going to be creating 100 videos in the next 10 weeks right here on YouTube. It starts today and ends at the end of the first quarter on March 31st, but I wanted to make this video to 1, introduce the challenge and hold myself accountable to you guys, and 2, raise the stakes even further. Any day that I miss uploading a video, I'll be donating $25 to a charity of my choice. You guys can help me pick one down in the comments. And if by some miracle I do manage to get through the whole challenge without missing a video and I create all 100, still gonna donate a couple $100 to whatever charity we choose. Just want to make this a fun little game, raise some money for good cause in the time being, and hopefully light a little bit of a fire under my ass to get going and see what I can create here. Now, I don't expect to make 100 full-length documentaries, so instead what I'm going to be aiming to publish is 1 YouTube short a day and then 2 to 3 long-form videos per week, and that should get me to 100 over the next 10 weeks. And the reason I'm doing this is not just to make the challenge more accessible. My growth strategy for YouTube involves creating a mix of long-form and short-form content by using the analogy of a campfire. Now, just like the car analogy, I don't claim to be an expert on fire starting or campfires or anything like that, but at the very least from the ones I've made and the things I've read online, you generally want the base of your fire to be those big meaty logs and branches that are a little difficult to light, tough to get going, but when they do, they burn for a long time and they really give you that base of the fire that's going to last. So from a YouTube standpoint, those are my long form videos. Those are things that are showing up on the search bar when people type in different keywords. Those are being suggested either on the side panel or at the end of other videos or my own videos. Those are the key videos that people are going to stumble upon, and those are going to be the base of my YouTube channel. And long term, I want people watching those long form videos. But in the meantime, getting a fire started with just those videos when you don't have a lot of traction is really tough. So you can mix in YouTube shorts, which in the fire analogy would be twigs and sticks and dry leaves and all that other stuff that burns really easily but has a short shelf life, no pun intended. And this is exactly what I've seen from my experience with YouTube Shorts. Generally, I'll upload something, it'll do nothing for a couple hours, then it'll get picked up by the Shorts feed and get traction for a day, maybe 2 days at most, and then completely die off and never get seen again. So those are great to get the fire under my channel started, to get people to subscribe, to get people to look at my other content, but ultimately I need to produce a lot of those shorts, a lot of those small twigs and dry branches to add to the fire because they don't have a long shelf life. So ultimately for my channel to to succeed, I need to be consistently creating those short, punchy videos that get a lot of attention very quickly, get people to my channel to see my other stuff, and then create a couple long form videos every week that will build the base of my channel and allow me to sustain my growth and trajectory over the long term. Anyway, I've already reached my 2 analogy quota for the day, and I can see the comment section building already of people saying that's not how cars work, or you couldn't build a fire if your life depended on it. And you're probably right. I don't know anything about those, but I thought the analogies were good. So anyway, we're kicking off the challenge, 100 videos in the next 10 weeks. Let's raise some money for charity and let's get this business off the ground. I'm super excited and hope you guys enjoy the content. In the meantime, like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you don't miss any of the next 100 videos. And with that, I better get back to work making tomorrow's video, and I hope to see you all there.